Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, social media world. I'd like to talk a little bit today about this life coaching movement. So, coaching has been around as a like a real tangible industry. Call it 25 years, and it existed before then in lots of other ways. For an example, most everyone has heard of business coaches. Um, a business that's failing will hire a business coach to attempt to pull them out. Businesses that are succeeding will hire a business coach to get better, even better, to grow even more. And this is very comparable to life coaches. So when people are in trauma, when people are in jeopardy, we'll talk about the easiest one: relationship issues. The marriage is struggling, and therapy and counseling doesn't seem to be working, and marriage retreats, and these are all things that I tried before I found coaching myself several years ago. And then they go to a relationship coach, and it's different. A coach has a different approach than therapy or counseling, or there wouldn't be therapists and coaches. They're not the same. There are definitely some similarities, but they're two different approaches to handle the same things, right? What is a coach? A coach is to walk with their client in their life, take a look at what's going right and what's going wrong, asking the client questions, figuring out what is it the client wants, helping them determine what steps to take, and then holding them accountable to those steps. Just like if you were coaching sports, you would want to get the most out of your players. A life coach, I want to help my clients get the most they can out of life, and figure out what's standing in their way and how do we get over it, around it, underneath it. So that's really kind of the gist of it. Now, there's a lot more coaches advertising now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and all over the place. So you're seeing more and more coaches. Um, there, there's a law of supply and demand though. So there's a lot of coaches, and the demand might not be there yet. It's working on it. We all know that it's coming. And then there's a lot of coaches in training. They're in whatever school, or that they want to be in. I spent my time in the Professional Christian Coaching Institute, the PCCI. I've have done some training in Clifton Strengths and assessments, and all these things that are really important when you're choosing a coach. Make sure that they at least have some formal training, and not have just read a book or believe that somehow they were born a coach, which I am seeing. Um, so there is this whole coaching movement, and there are people there, more and more people every day. They're becoming coaches, and they have the thought that, okay, I'm going to become a coach, and as soon as I let everybody know that I'm here, I'm just going to get flooded with clients, and I'm going to make all this good money. And for a few, I'm sure it happens that way. And then most of the other coaches that I talk to, again, we're all out there scrambling and fighting and searching for those people that can see the benefit of what we offer, what we do, and to engage them in a way that we can connect with them, that they can connect with us, and we can have that relationship, which I'm the coach, and they're willing to take a hard look at some of the things going on in their life. Now, specifically, like what I have been doing is more men's work with coaching, with mentoring, with teaching. So when you look at my website, or for the men that do join me, it goes a little bit deeper than that. The coach that walks along with you, I'm really here to pull more, stretch you more, make you more uncomfortable than a coach would, because I believe that's what men need. Men need more challenge, support, and accountability. So again, there's that piece, and there are men who believe that they're seeking challenge, support, and accountability, and they join a group like mine, and then they figure out that that's not really what they wanted, because as soon as they start getting challenge, support, and accountability, they back out. So again, this is not for everybody, but there are plenty of men that need this level of challenge, support, and accountability. So the coaching movement moves on. We are seeing more and more coaches all the time. A lot of coaches do a niche. They're very specific. I've met with some beautiful, talented women coaches that are very niched. One that does nothing but grief support. One that helps women that have had difficult pregnancies. Like, these are very important topics, and if you can specialize in something as a coach, you first and foremost know who your audience is, because these women do this because they've experienced these things themselves, and they had to do the work, and they had to find resources, and they had to do a lot of things, and they want to turn around and offer that to somebody else in a much quicker fashion. So it's like, for myself, 30 years clean and sober, I've been widowed, I've have all these things in my past, and it took me years to figure out, to become more aware, to take responsibility, to take steps and actions to change those things. I can help men now do that in a short period of time. What took me years to do, I can walk a man through in months. So again, this is the importance and the beauty of coaching, and engaging somebody that specializes, that has a niche, that very, from a place of mission and purpose, know who they're meant to help. So instead of being really general, they are very specific. I know a coach that he beautifully, all he wants to do is help people reach their dreams. So like, he's a dream coach. Um, there are coaches out there that specifically specialize in something. What is it that you're looking for? So again, my particular specialty is men. I'm a men's life coach. I, I don't coach women, and I can help men in every area of their life, because we all have common problems. And when you're helping a man develop and mature in his masculinity, it builds better relationships. It builds better careers. It builds better finances. It builds better health. So if you wanted to put a label on my coaching, I'm here to help men become masculine leaders. So you could say that I'm very specifically drawing out of the man his true masculine essence. I am not making him me. I'm not handing him directions in a map that this, all you have to do is this, because not every man is the same. We're all uniquely different. We have very unique and different traumas and hurts and wounds to deal with, even though there's a lot of men, we don't like to address this, that have been sexually abused as kids, physically abused as kids, emotionally abused as kids. And again, they hang on to that. They don't live into their fullness. It hurts their relationships. It's hurting their wife. It's hurting their children. It's destroying their careers at times. Sometimes they go through business after business if they're entrepreneurs, and they're always wondering what's going on, when really it's just some internal work that needs to be done. And it's scary work, and it's uncomfortable work, and it's not easy work. However, if you have the right guide, if you have the right coach, you can speed up the process, so you don't have to stay in pain for years and years and years like I did. I did it that way. Um, and now that I've helped and I've coached thousands of men over the last 5 years from all over the planet, it doesn't matter what color or creed or how old you are, 18 to 85, that's fine. What we need to be looking at is lining up and matching the individuals out there that are looking, and the coaches. So then there's things that you can do there. I can only speak currently to that uh, for the Christian, people, or even for the Catholic people. You can Google, and you'll find sites like CatholicLifeCoaches.com, where you can do a search, and you'll find all sorts of Catholic coaches that have all different niches. And I know that there's a Christian site for it. I forgot the off the top of my head, but there's a Christian site that does the same thing. You're looking for a Christian coach, and they'll help you find one. There's organizations, the Communion of Catholic Coaches, the CCC, that have also went, even a step further. I'm part of the CCC. We're kind of vetted. We are gathered together. We talk about things and issues and how we can continue to grow in our own practices and our own coaching and our own faith, and how to integrate that with what we're doing with our clients. So again, there's resources out there. There's websites to go to that help people do their research. So Again, you're just not pulling names out of the hat or just chasing the shiny marketing that somebody's putting out there. And I've shared this before. The shinier and the more marketing that you're seeing from an organization or somebody, understand that that's going to be built into the fees that you're paying, the cost of their coaching. So there are plenty of coaches out there that are not, spending all that money, and you're going to have to seek them out. You're going to have to look a little bit harder to find those coaches, but I think that's great because again, this is like I want to do business with the local restaurant. I don't want to go to Chili's or Applebee's or whatever. Like I want to find the local family that I can support that puts out a great product. By the way, usually the food's better when you find those local places. And I would say this, something very similar about coaching. Instead of the big organizations that have lots of coaches and they're spending lots of money on marketing, find those coaches that have talent, that have experience, that have some formal training, that speak into where you're at in life. Again, I will continuously speak into the lives of men, the men that are struggling, the men that feel that they're all alone, the men that are having problems and issues with their relationships or with their career, with their finances, with their health, and understand it's all coming from the same place, all coming from the same problems that need to be addressed and looked at. Men that want somebody in their life that will point out their blind spots because their friends and family aren't doing it. Their wife, who is trying to, making every attempt to point them out, he can't hear her. He doesn't understand her language. She's circling the moon instead of being really direct, and he needs to hear from another man what's going on. That's me. So again, find what works for you, but don't get stuck in the analysis paralysis. There's another issue or problem with a lot of men. When we are looking for something, now we spend all of our time looking and researching and reading and looking at reviews and moving from the next one that kind of fits, and that kind of fits too, but this is a little bit different. Than the next thing you know, it's weeks and weeks later and we haven't made a choice. Make a decision. The great thing about a coach, again, depending on how you engage with them. For an example, I'm a 100% membership model, which is a little bit different than all the other coaches. You can sign up. You're not getting what you believe you were supposed to get out of the membership. Quit, leave, move on, go find another coach. You're not trapped in, right? If you find another coach that you believe that you connect with, pay them what they require for a session, go to a session, speak to them, and see. It is the best investment you could ever make. Even if it turns out to be the wrong coach, that's a great investment. Because now okay, I'm not looking for that. I need to be looking for this. That's a great investment. There's no failure. There's no downside. There's no negative side to engaging with a coach to find the right one that works for you and fits for you. So dig in and keep looking. And in this day and age, I've mentioned this before, out of every 4 suicides, 3 are men. We're in trouble, men. Anxiety in men is up 164% over the last few years. Depression is up 109% in men over the last few years. So you got to stop pretending everything's okay. You got to drop the whole reaching out for help is weakness. That's BS too. And stop in the analysis paralysis and seeking the last one. We all know that in this day and age there's so much free content available, not only in social media but in Google, that somehow you're going to solve all your problems and all your dilemmas without making 1 cent of an investment. And men fail at that over and over and over again. They keep playing that game until she finally leaves, or his adult children stop talking to him altogether, and all sorts of stories I can share with you. Another career fails, another business fails, his health is bad, he's heading for diabetes, he's on the way to the first heart attack or stroke, because he's stuck in this mindset that he can do it for free and do it on his own. I don't see that very successful. That is not a successful plan. Keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. If you want to stop the patterns, you need to interrupt the pattern. To interrupt the pattern, you need other men in your life, I'm speaking to the men. Women, you need women in your life that are willing to help you stop those patterns that you've been living forever and ever and ever. and really take a serious look at your life from the outside in.